Alright, this is a quick overview video of UTED 2010 Knowing and Learning. In this video I go over the boring details that I prefer not to go over on the first day of class. So instead I make you watch this boring video, or ask you to watch this boring video that goes over the details. Anyway, I'm gonna talk to you about the class structure, how it's set up, how you access assignments, how you get your grade, how you navigate the class successfully, hopefully all in under 10 minutes. So I'm already on the Canvas shell for UTED 2010, 2025, Section 1. So navigate to that, and then all you need to do, anytime you take a course with me, everything is on the Modules tab. Even the assignments will eventually all be embedded in the Modules tab, so it's a one-stop shop, one place to go to see everything. Immediately you see Module 0 with some suggested activities that you could be doing now, the syllabus, this video, access to this video. And then scroll down to week 1. I can show you how I organize the class. So week 1, cleverly titled because it is week 1 of class, January 21, 23rd are the dates we're meeting on week 1. The whole class is scheduled that way, so pretty easy to keep track of that. If you open up week 1 info or week 2 info or week 3 info, so on and so on, you will find out what you need to know if you open that up, you'll get the information you need to prepare for the coming class. I do require that you prepare ahead of time. There's reading that I ask you to do. Sometimes I ask you to view a video. My expectation is that you have done that before you walk into class that day. So you need to look at this you need to look at Tuesday's information before Tuesday, Thursday's information before Thursday. Please do that. When you come into class, my class is a dynamic class. There's very little lecture. It's mostly you talking to each other with me, adding on to the conversation. So you have to come in prepared. If there's something I want you to read, then we're going to talk about that. I'll have some questions on here. Like for Thursday, you have to read How the Brain Learns, our textbook, pages 27 to 30. Usually the reading is only 4, 5, 6 pages. It'll take you 10 minutes to do. I do that so that you'll do it because I want you to be prepared. Then there's some questions that you can look at, like how the difference, for instance here, how the difference in home environments of today affect classroom practices of today. That topic is broached in the book, in the reading, so I want you to pre-read these. That'll help you read better. If you're like me and you're not a great reader, then this is really helpful and it helps you to read better. And you can also shorten the reading. There may be sections within that pages 27 to 30 that you really don't need to read. You'll know that if you look at these questions. So all in there, and you'll see that week info in every week. Another thing that's in every week are the discussions. This is just a PowerPoint that I'll use to lead discussion in class. You don't really need to look at that. Week 1 journals. On Sunday at the end of each week, you're required to submit a journal. There are 10 of these spread out throughout the semester. It's really just a short 1 to 2 paragraph reflection on the week's discussion. What I ask you to do is think of your biggest takeaway. So of the 2 days, or some weeks we only have 1 day, of the time that we spend in the classroom discussing, what's the thing that you're going to take away? What's the thing that was the most important, that resonated with you, that you think you'll actually use 1, 2, 3 years from now when you're in a classroom? That's what I want you to write about. Now the reason for this is you have read about it, we have talked about it, now you have to synthesize, you have to think through everything we talk about, make a decision on what you think is most important and write about it. This helps you hold on to that information. It helps you to retain it for a very long time, which you will learn about how to do that with your students in your classroom in this class. So I try to model those same processes within the way that I teach. So there'll be a lot of repetition. You'll see the same information 3 times: reading, discussion, journaling. And that's a pattern that goes throughout the semester. Another thing that you'll find in modules is every 3rd week, see if I put it in, is a clinical experience reflection. That's so on those weeks you will not have a journal. So every 3rd week, week 3, week 6, week 9, if you're math people, you know multiples, you'll have a clinical experience reflection. In the clinical experience reflection, you'll think about a classroom. You'll try to recall a classroom experience. So maybe in the intro, when you were teaching, you'll think back to an experience you had there, or an experience you're having in your own classrooms now, something you remember from high school. You're going to reflect on and connect it with things that we're learning in the classroom. So we'll have several topics over the first 2 weeks. So on the third week, I'm asking you to draw from that. So it's another repetition. Think about the things you've learned and then connect it to experience you've had in the classroom. Anything you'll need to prepare for the week that's not our textbook, because we have one book. So here you'll see in week 3 there's an article that I'd like you to review. On occasion this is a video, but anyway, so on occasion there'll be a video or an extra article. If I ask you to read an extra article or watch a video, having a hard time talking this morning, it'll be in the module that you'll need. It'll be in that week. So easy to find everything. You won't have to dig around to look for anything. It'll all be right there. Pretty simple way to organize. And that's Canvas in a nutshell. Let's go to the syllabus so I can show you how you're going to get your grade. And wouldn't you know that, there we go. The screen's going to go wonky. Okay, so scroll past all the stuff nobody really reads. What you really want to know from here is, how do I get my grade for the class? You get your grade from major assignments, so let's go through them. I give points for attendance and participation. So if you come to class, you participate, you get 15 points. You will participate because I'll make sure that that happens in class. So you'll always get the 15 points. I reward you for being there every day that you're there because it matters. If all you do is read, if you never come to class, or if you come to class infrequently and read the text and think about it, you're going to learn for sure. But you're going to learn so much more when you get involved in discussion with your classmates and you talk about all the nuance that they picked out that you didn't. It really adds to your knowledge base. Class attendance in my class is of utmost importance. What happens in class you will not be able to get anywhere else. If you miss class, you're going to be missing out. So I reward that. We'll write a philosophy at the end of the semester. It's really kind of the final for this class. I'll go into more detail about how to put that together, and we'll have several activities along the way to prepare you for writing that. That's worth 100 points. Attendance, by the way, is worth 270 points. So it's enough that if you miss half the classes, you can't get an A in the class, you'll get a B. Probably won't cause you to fail. Journals I've already talked about. They're 20 points each. There are 10 of them throughout the semester, and again, it's just a overview, very open-ended assignment because you pick what you want to write about, and then you write a couple of paragraphs on your major takeaway for that unit of instruction. Clinical reflections, I kind of went through that too. I'm showing you the Canvas shell. They're 50 points each, so they're big point getters. There's one every 3 weeks. It's a bigger assignment, so on those weeks you don't have a reflection, you just have to write about this. And in this assignment you reflect back on an experience you've had in the classroom, and you make connections to things we're talking about and learning in UTED 2010. Mission, vision, elevator pitch. This is really your philosophy in a 30-second soundbite. That's what it comes down to. So we'll do a lot of work on how to prepare for this. You'll write it. It's actually it's a short write, but it's one of the most difficult things I think that you'll have to write in your career because it's a guiding thing, really important. And I'll get into more of why I think it's important in the class. But the mission vision is really just a short statement. You'll submit, that's 30 points. Elevator pitch, the last day of class, I ask everyone to come in, stand in front of the rest of the group, and give us your elevator pitch. Your mission vision, your elevator pitch is your mission vision orally. So it may not be exactly, it may be shortened a little bit. I don't really look at that. I just ask you to stand in front of the room and kind of give us your main why for teaching is what it comes down to. The reason I have you stand up in front of people is because that's a commitment. To put it down on paper is a commitment. To be willing to stand in front of people and put it out there in the world, that's a bigger commitment. And I ask you to do that because the job you're getting ready to do is a pretty doggone important job. And then this last assignment is related to a bigger project that I have this year on campus, and I'll explain that to you in class, but it's standards-based assessment, ethics, position statement, and interviews. It's a long title for an assignment, but you'll write like a 2-page position paper, and it's really, the paper is, where do you stand on standards-based testing? Do you agree with it? Do you not? Do you think it's good for these reasons, bad for these reasons? and I'll go into more detail in class about that assignment because it's kind of a big one. But it's only 2 pages, so it's not huge. Bigger part of it, another part of it is you have to do interviews. You have to interview 2 students or 2 people from the perspective of a student. They don't have to be current K-12 students. They can be, 20-year-olds, your friends, but you're talking to them about their experience with testing, standards-based testing in high school, elementary, middle school. And you also have to interview 2 teachers. And I have interview questions that you'll have to ask the questions that I put on the interview documents, so you don't have to make them up. That part's easy, but you might be thinking about who the people that you may want to interview. And I have a ton of typos in here that I will fix. I'll fix a couple right now. Educaton, made that word up. All right. Overall points, there are 1,000 in the course. You have to get 900 to get an A, 800 to get a B. 800 is the minimum grade for this class. If you don't get a B or more higher in this class, you have to retake it because it's an education class. That's one of our requirements. You should get a 900. I don't know why you'd want to get anything less. I use a mastery-based grading system, so all these assignments up here, if you submit something that's not perfect or not close to perfect, something that I can't give you full points on, I'll send it back and say fix these things to get full points, because I want you to get the most out of the assignment. So you will get full points on your assignments. You just will, because you want to be here and you care enough about it. So you should get the 900 points pretty easily. And that's all you need. At 900 you can stop. You do not have to do every assignment in this class. There are 100 points that you have to give, so you could choose to not do the philosophy if you wanted to. Don't recommend that. You could choose to skip a few journals if you want to. If you miss a few days of class, that comes off of the top of that. So I don't excuse class. I don't give you credit for class if you're not there, but I kind of give you that leeway because you could miss 6 class periods before you ever drop down to a B. That's quite a few classes to miss. So that's how it works. If you're at class every day, then you're rewarded by the fact that you could drop a few of the assignments you may not want to do. I think that's all of it. If you have questions, of course, I'll answer your questions in the first couple of days of class. As assignments come up, we'll review them. So this isn't the last time that you'll hear about them. But certainly jot down your questions, bring them to class when's our first day of class? Go back to the Canvas shell on the 21st. I'll see you all then.